What's up, Cave Brothers? I'm green, he's shiny, and I can't see out of my face shield because I have hot breath.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Before we start this episode, we're going to thank our sponsor.
That's RPG, RPGhiring.com. They're building people, changing lives. Make sure you check them out. Welcome back to Gabe's Cave, everybody. Today we have a cool episode for you, one that I truly like to talk about, and I know Gabe does too. We really really big fans of Star Wars here, so I believe today is a treat for anybody that is a fan of Star Wars and wants to know our opinion on the Book of Boba Fett.
She had it wrong.
The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Anyways, so I think like any good review, we'll start off with the good, we'll transition into the bad, and then we'll transition from there into what we would have changed.
You mean the ugly?
The weird, let's just say that. The good, the bad, and the weird, because there's some things about this season that was weird. But let's start off with the good. Let's start off with the good, okay?
That was wrong.
We'll jump right into it here. I think the first thing starting off, the thing that got me, one of the most exciting things I saw at least, was the return of the Slave One. However, they did not call it the Slave One. They called it the Fire Spray Starship. I think that's silly, just based off of what the Slave One stood for. Anybody that doesn't know, look into it. That's a rabbit hole, and we're not going to sit here and talk about it on the show. So, Gabe, what else would you say was good about the show?
I liked the start of the beginning of Mando season 3. The preseason.
Yeah, the preseason. Mandalorian season 3 preseason, which was like 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, which
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, two and 3/4 maybe? 2 and 3/4, because it was actually supposed to come out already, but that didn't happen because of this show. We did see about 3 episodes that had nothing to do with Boba Fett, which was kind of weird. And we'll talk about that later on. I'm sure you can understand that would probably be part of the bad or what we would have changed. So, another big thing is Easter eggs, and we'll elaborate on this a little bit. Some super cool Easter eggs I was excited about. What were some of that you noticed? Put you on the spot, Gabe. Top of your head.
I didn't.
Easter eggs, buddy. Easter eggs. Gabe said he thinks that they should have had Crimson Dawn in it because there was some Crimson Dawn, some stuff that hinted at Crimson Dawn. They didn't really say it, but there was some stuff that hinted at it.
Pikes are controlled by the Crimson Dawn at this point. So.
Sure. And then, the seismic charge was definitely not an Easter egg, but like one of those like fan service quiz type of things,
It was also weak.
It was. I said Easter eggs, and we're already in this part of it, and my mind went blank, and now I can't think of any other ones. We'll go on to something else here. So the Naboo Starfighter, this is a double-edged sword. This is something that's good to me, and this is something that's bad to me. I like it because I guess that is an Easter egg. The Naboo Starfighter is an Easter egg.
He gets to be Space Dad, but he no longer gets to be, Space Bounty Hunter.
Right.
We get more Dark Space Dad instead of Dark Space Bounty Space Cowboy.
Right. But I think that would be part of the Easter eggs because, Naboo Starfighter, the first movie. I love those ships, by the way. They're really, really cool. They sound awesome. They look really cool.
100%.
I like that they polished it out and made it, match the Beskar.
The Chrome Dome.
The Durasteel / Beskar look that the Mando is going for. I don't know how I felt. No, that's later on. Let's hear them. This is the good. Naboo Starfighter. I did like it. I just don't know if it's for the right reasons. Another good thing that we thought about the show was the cameos were just awesome. They were off the charts. I mean, I'm sure there's a show that has more cameos in it than this one did, but man, every episode you watched, you was like, who's going to be in this next episode? I mean, starting off, it was the Book of Boba Fett show, but you got the Mando. It was technically a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
You had Trapper Wolf. Whenever he was flying the ship, the Trapper Wolf is played by Dave Filoni. He's the New Republic pilot that pilots the X-Wing. We had R2. We had with a Wookiee. What was his name? Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah,
that's right.
Chrysanthus.
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemums.
Something. I know it's a flower.
He's something. He
the
is a
Wookiee.
flower.
He first appeared in a
comics.
comics. Yeah, it was.
He was also in some of the Darth Vader comics, I believe.
I don't know because I don't know comics like you guys do. Another one would be obviously Grogu and then Ahsoka, and the two of the biggest ones I think would be Cad Bane, obviously
the gunslinger.
Yeah, the gunslinger, and then Luke. And I will say Luke as a whole is part of the good section for me because not that I like that he was in the show, but I like. How did they put Mark Hamill back in time to play that role?
I mean, they did it well.
I mean, really, like, did you see the meme where it was like Mark Hamill in this, Mark Hamill in this, Mark Hamill in this, Mark Hamill in this, and it was like
no, I didn't.
It was like whenever it showed the Book of Boba Fett, it was like him, like his actual like that was crazy. I said it a minute ago, but seismic charges, I believe that is one of the cool ones.
That's why he's helping out Filoni. He's just like, here's where you find my stash of this. Here's where you find the stash of this. You can take all the credit, but you pass me some of that money.
He's like, here's the code to my safe. What's in it? You know what to do.
You'll see.
You know what to do with it.
You'll find out.
I think another big plus about the show was the Mandalorian or Mando Boba Fett fight scenes. I think where they used the jetpack, they were actually shooting. They worked well as like a duo there. Those were actually well choreographed and just they felt like Star Wars. They felt good. They felt like they actually trained and actually knew what they were doing, holding blasters and whatnot. The whole thing, it didn't feel cheesy to me. There was a lot of this show that felt cheesy, and that was one of the things that did not feel cheesy to me at all. Like I was watching, I was like, "Oh wow, this is cool." Really got hyped about that.
The Rancor was nice.
The Rancor was very cool.
That was Machete.
That's
cameo.
That's
a cameo.
Machete. I knew I was missing someone else. Danny Trejo. I knew I was missing someone else. But yeah, the Rancor, man. The Rancor was really cool. His little armor piece on the front of him, his little armor, body armor he had on. And I just like the whole fact that he rode the Rancor. And the quote, the little smirky quote, he was like, "You sure you can ride this thing?" He said, "I've rode something a lot bigger."
I want to learn to ride this one.
You what?
I want to ride it. I've ridden beasts 10 times its size.
Christmas special.
The Christmas special, the original Boba Fett, first appearance of Boba Fett. He rode like a brontosaurus. I don't really know what it was, but it was a giant dinosaur. Let's just say that, way bigger, and he did ride it, and I like that they threw that in there. That was cool. I think
Christmas special canon.
Ooh, it is maybe now. I will say another thing I really liked was the Tusken Raider lore. But that's it about the Tusken Raiders. I liked that it showed a little bit of what they do and who they are, but nothing else. And I think the final thing that was good about it was, I want you to read it to him, Gabe. What you tell him?
Darksaber.
The Darksaber. I think the Mando Season 3, re-elaborating on that, our Mando 2 3/4, Season 3 sneak peek, whatever you want to call it, where there was a couple episodes there. I think that when it switched from Boba Fett, it was like super cheesy, and then switched from Boba Fett to the Mando, and it was like, man, this is two completely separate shows. I know they're directed by the same person, but it was like two completely different shows. I mean, it shows, Mando walk in, cuts a dude in half with a Darksaber, and says, "I can bring you in warm or bring you in cold." It was just like night and day difference. You were just like, whoa, like that really just happened. I mean, it was wild. Shoot him up. I mean, dude just not playing at all, like whatsoever. His whole fight scene with the Vizsla guy, the House, Clan Wren, the other Mando from the Coven. I don't know, it's not really a Coven, what do they call them? They're little.
I don't know. What
is it a Coven?
Tribes.
Tribe. That's what it was. They're Tribe. The big dude with the gun, which I believe Dave Filoni actually.
Favreau.
Jon Favreau voices that guy. I don't remember his name, but when that guy was there, they fought back and forth, and obviously Mando was still victorious with the Darksaber. But I really enjoyed that whole segment of it. I think with all that being said, let's jump into the bad section of the Book of Boba Fett, and we'll start off with how weak Boba Fett is. this is the biggest one. This is like the biggest thing for me. Why I did not. It's not that I didn't like the show. It's that I feel like there was 5 episodes that were just a waste. The last episode, okay, but man, there was a lot of episodes in there that just didn't do it for me. He was just weak. I don't think Fennec Shan should have been in the show. I mean, not that she shouldn't have been in the show. I just don't think that she should have been who she was.
Should have been the right-hand man, not the one running it.
She was running the show, and he just looked at her like she should tell him all the answers. And it wasn't even the Boba Fett show. It was the Mandalorian Fennec Shan show with guest appearances of Boba Fett in a bacta tank, not actually fighting.
And then he gets in a fight, and he's like, "Back to the bacta tank."
Yeah, literally, just back to the bacta. Another thing there was the cyberpunk style mods. They called them mods. The androids, cyborg.
The losers.
Man, when they went out there to fix, when he took Fennec to get fixed, the music they were listening to was straight out of like Tron or Cyberpunk, or it was one of those like futuristic, not in a good way, like futuristic, like techno places.
Trash city kind of thing.
Yeah, and it did not fit Star Wars at all, especially on Tatooine of all places, which is like the most desolate.
The only place that would have looked all right in Star Wars is
like the
Coruscant.
slums of Coruscant.
Coruscant.
Like the lower levels of Coruscant. And that would have been like, if I would have saw that in the Clone Wars on Coruscant, I'd have been like, okay, maybe. It fits. But on Tatooine, in the middle of nowhere of the desert, this guy just has like a tattoo parlor that cuts people in half and turns them into robots. Like, listening to techno, nah, they don't do it, man. It didn't do it. And their mods that they had, like their modifications were all like cheesy. The way that they like talked about it, they called themselves mods. Like, that's straight up cyberpunk. Yeah. Like, literally, I don't like my arm, so I'm gonna turn it into a gun. Yeah, that's literally some cyberpunk stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the mods, we'll go ahead and say this too. They're colorful mopeds.
Lame.
They look like Power Rangers. I'm not even gonna lie about it. They literally look like Power Rangers.
Get up!
Yeah, they do.
And it's not even that they drove mopeds. It's that they were colored like Power Rangers in super heavy flake 1960s paint. And they had a top speed of like 4 miles per hour. At one point, I'm pretty sure I saw somebody in a hover round with a broken leg passing them. It's sad. That was the cheesiest chase scene I've ever seen in any show. Like, they filmed that at walking speed and sped it up to like 8 times to make it look fast, and it was awful. The mayor's assistant guy driving the car was like straight up Power Rangers. I mean, I would have rather watched Power Rangers fight scene. It was awful.
The shootouts, very just, they're cheesy.
Besides,
they're like, we're being gunned down, and it's just like 5 guys
besides
shooting
Mando's and Boba Fett's, like when they're together shooting, they're like jetpacking around. They look like they actually, like, the main big name characters look like they actually did some training and looked at the script. The other people look like they walked into work that day and said, okay, this is the first time I've ever held a gun. What do I do? And I promise you, they were, look in the background, they're literally going, bang, 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 bang. Like, you don't do that. And at one point, they're getting shot at from behind. I'm going to stand up so you can see this. They were getting shot at from behind, like, from back here, okay? And she gets shot at, and she goes, BAM! Go watch. Go rewatch it. Did a complete 360. And then, like, using, like, the most tiny cricket gun, like Men in Black cricket gun, okay?
Don't use that example. Cricket gun's good.
360'd, okay? Like, this is something you would keep in your shoe, pocket pistol. Like, one tapped a guy, just like. Bam! And I literally, I thought about turning it off and, like, washing dishes or something, because that would have been more enjoyable than what I just witnessed. And I mean, Allie, please, I know you're listening because you're editing this video. If you can find that scene, back me up here, okay? Back me up.
You got it, dude. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
The Tuscans.
Like I said earlier, we're garbage. Like I said earlier, the Tuscan Raider lore.
They stole Boy's life and then made him weak and dependent on family. And it made the show suck because that's what they tried to do with him.
I thought I was watching Star Wars, not Fast and the Furious. Family.
I got family.
Man, the Tuscan Raiders, like I said earlier, the Tuscan Raider lore, great. Stop it there. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh, man, and the last thing I wrote down on this list here is the Naboo Starfighter. And when I say I love the Naboo Starfighter, I really...
It's amazing
I love them.
It's good for Dark Space Daddy, but it's not good for Dark Space Cowboy.
It is great for, like, Starfighter scenes, like, shootouts and stuff. I wish they would have had, by the way. Just straight up, Starfighter scenes.
It's good for...
some Clone Wars era stuff, which is what it was made for.
It's good for Chrome Daddy, not good for the Chrome Cowboy.
Super awesome, okay? But they put like a big block carburetor sticking out of the top of it and like did some mods to it, like the mods on... Dude, I just don't like Tatooine now, man. Mods, like, that is a stupid...
They go back to Tatooine so much, I don't even want to see it again.
No,
like,
never.
Never.
Except for in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
But, they literally, like how they massacred Boba Fett, they massacred the N1 Starfighter, the Naboo N1 Starfighter. I love the Chrome. Love it. 100%. But they made it look goofy. Like a rat rod Naboo Starfighter. But other than that, it was cool. But how was he supposed to bring in his bounties? How was he supposed to do bounty hunter stuff? The man could barely even climb out of it in his armor. So let's go on to what we've changed, what we would have changed, and we will kind of go through this pretty quick here. I think that Boba should have just straight up killed the Tuscans. I would have changed that. He should have, done his thing, gotten captured, and then just shot his way out, taken back that mantle of being the most feared bounty hunter in the entire galaxy in the Imperial, the Empire's galaxy. I don't think he should have taken the palace. I think that was silly. I think that was... Why? It's not his character. He's not a family, build an army, fight off Naboo for their freedom type of person. He's I'm going to go kill this person, and they're going to give me some money.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you think, Gabe?
It needed less of a Mando preseason.
Yes, I think it definitely needed less of a Mando preseason. More Boba Fett, because
not get back to tank,
yeah,
Boba, but Boba.
Yeah, it was called the Book of Boba Fett. I expected it to be like what happened after the Sarlacc up until the point where we met the Mando, and then beyond that. And it was, but it was really a letdown. And going into that, I think it definitely should have been more bounty hunting, more seismic charges, more space shootouts. I think there should have used the Slave One and went to some planets where he was a kid that we haven't seen really since the Clone Wars era. And done some stuff. I don't know what he should have done. Yeah, Felucia. Just shot the place up with his Slave One and dropped some seismic charges. I think that would have been super cool. Let's get rid of Finnick. Maybe she should have been in it, but not like a main character. Like, we saved you. That's cool. I helped you. You helped me. See you later. Find your own way off of Tatooine. No family, no Tuscans, none of that stuff. That was all silly.
Am I the only one that wants Pong Krell to come back just so he can get got a second time?
Pong Krell. That has nothing to do with the episode, Gabe, but yes, I agree with you. I think Grogu and the Mando... I think Grogu as a whole should be out of the Mando show. I know we said above that Mando shouldn't even been in this, but because he was, I think Grogu should have chosen the lightsaber and stayed with Luke and stayed out of it. I am venturing out here for season 3 of Mando, and I don't think Grogu should be in it. I'm that guy.
Yep.
I want to see Mando do some space cowboy stuff. I want to see him.
We want to see Chrome Cowboy, not the Chrome Daddy.
I literally want to see him bring some people in cold. He can't do that with an N1 Starfighter, and he can't do that with a baby.
He's supposed to be, he is the Mandalore. He's supposed to reunite Mandalore.
Yes,
what we're waiting for.
Exactly. Finishing this off here, there's 2 other things I think should have happened before the end of the season. For the finale there, I think Boba Fett and Cad Bane should have had their big duel again, of which they kind of did.
I think Cad Bane should have won.
For those of you that have seen the Clone Wars, that's why Boba Fett has a dent in his helmet, and that's why when Cad Bane got shot, he had the metal plates, because in the Clone Wars, they shot each other in the head. Cad Bane lived
in a deleted scene that is considered canon. It is canon, but it's a deleted scene.
It is a deleted scene. You got to go to YouTube.
So that's it. Just you and me then, Boba Fett.
I guess it is.
Go to YouTube and search that in at some point or another. But yeah, they shot each other in the head, and now this is their return on. They're squaring back up. Well, I think they should have shot each other and died. I think they both should have died. I'm going to say it right here. Boba Fett's one of my favorite characters, but after the show, I think they should have just killed him. I really do. Both of them. Cad Bane, Boba Fett should have got their cool ending.
I think Boba should have died.
Cad
Bane should have gotten his
and
vengeance.
then I think Mando should have got the Slave 1. No more N1 Starfighter. Slave 1, collecting bounties. Cold. Stacking bodies. Okay, seismic charges. The end.
Don't forget Disintegration
Rolls into season 3 of the Mando. Does some cool Mando stuff. Hear me out here, people.
Yeah.
And that is it for the good, the bad, and what we would have changed, a.k.a. the weird.
Strongest
but
man.
I do have a fun fact for everybody here before we go into the giveaways. The fun fact is, did you know that Lando Calrissian is the strongest being? I'm not even going to say man, because he's the strongest being in all of the Star Wars universe. Think about it. In Return of the Jedi, when Luke, Lando, Han Solo, and all them were above the Sarlacc pit, where Boba Fett falls in and dies, right?
Yeah.
Lando gets knocked off, and Han Solo reaches down and grabs him, or reaches down to grab him with the stick and help him out. Well, Lando's just sitting there on the edge of the sand, right? The Sarlacc reaches up and grabs his leg. Does not pull him in.
He continues to fight it off and crawl up.
He's crawling out of this where the Sarlacc has grabbed his leg. And you're like, oh, that's just whatever. But is it? Think about this. Here's the kicker. When the Slave 1 flew above it to see if his armor was in it, it grabbed it and pulled it down, and he couldn't get away with a starship that has light speed capabilities. Think about it.
Big brain time.
Lando was just crawling out of the pit like it was nothing.
Lando could have just looked at that pit and just...
I'm just saying. What really is Lando? This is some deep thought stuff here. Just like Shaggy is the strongest character in all of Scooby-Doo and all of Warner Brothers as a whole. That's another rabbit hole you should look into. And it is canon. Now let's go on to the giveaways. Gabe, what are we giving away? We're giving away... He's not paying attention. He's not paying attention. Art. We're giving away Carrie Valerie's cards. Kid for Life. These are super awesome cards. I don't have them here with me today. Obviously, because they're getting packed up because it's Saturday. Come on, guys. I don't have them, but I just want to say what I want to say. Run us a winner. Congratulations to the winners, all 10 of you, and the loot box. We never forget that loot box. Even though we don't talk about it, you know that it's there. And congratulations to those winners one more time. Now let's go on to the artist spotlight of this week, and that is Peter Smith, a really good friend of ours. I'm glad he could be on with Season 3. Super excited about it, and enjoy his interview.
How's it going, everyone? We're back with another segment of Meet the Artist. This week we've got Peter Smith. How's it going, Peter?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Good to, not that I can see you, but it's good to be here. So,
man, I think our viewers have been waiting for this day with you. Obviously, last season, people went crazy for your cards.
Oh well.
So it's this time around. It's people are going to be beating their heads against the walls trying to get these cards. So we're stoked. And,
well, I had a great time doing them.
Just amazing work once again. I guess we'll kind of go into it. It's why did you choose what you chose to do?
I guess when I do something for Gabe's Cave, when I get to do like a set of cards, it's really cool because they say do whatever characters you want. So I know that Allison was a huge Cinderella fan, and I'm like, I got to do a Cinderella. And so I did that, and love doing Star Wars cards, love doing Disney characters. So I think that's kind of what inspired me. And then when I was working on them, it was close to Halloween, and I had just seen Tone, and I'm like, and my kids in my class at the Film Academy, they were watching a lot of Simpsons, and I'm like, I need to do some Simpsons characters. So Mr. Burns' Dracula was just a must do. So.
Just great. So I guess we'll kind of go into, first of all, on these cards, what was your tools of the trade and your process?
Okay, so anytime I do a card, I like to do like a mixed media. So I'll pencil them first, and I will also use ink. So I'll pencil them, I'll ink them, and then I go ahead and use a combination of marker and color pencil and watercolor. So I kind of use all three for different things.
So a true mixed media.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what brands of the different instruments do you use? Is there like a certain brand that you go with?
Sometimes watercolor, I have a couple different ones that I use. I'll use DeWitt, I'll use Grumbacher. Color pencils, I stick with Prismacolors. I'll use microns or Pitt pens for inking. And pencil, I'll just use like Prismacolor leads, and I use an architectural pencil when I draw. So kind of the same pencil I use for drawing comics.
Kind of get into this. I obviously we all follow you. I follow you, of course. You were at a con, I believe. Maybe it was Colorado. Maybe I don't remember where it was at. A few months back, and I was just flabbergasted at a commission you did. It was the Disney Maid Marian with like all the foxes.
Oh yeah, that was somebody had brought in a sketchbook, and they asked me if I would do Marian in the sketchbook, and I'm like, sure. And so that's what I drew. Drew that for him. Kind of looked at some of the character sheets of like her design sheets, and I went from there and drew her up for him. When I went to college, college that I go to, Disney actually comes and they draft animators from there. And so you get a lot of that stylization of characters. And I started working at Disney in 1990, and I was fortunate enough, the animation department had just started there in Florida, and I got to work in the department itself. I worked in a place called the Animation Gallery and on the tour, and we went down on the floor a lot of times where the animators actually were, and we got to talk with them and chat with them. Learned a lot from a lot of the animators that were there before I even went to college. So it was a great experience, but I think that influenced a lot of my style and being able to draw in like a Disney style. So it was a lot of fun, definitely.
When I saw that, I felt something. It was amazing art. I really, when we get you in the store at some point, which I hope is in the near future, I really wanted to get something like that from you for sure. Next thing I want to ask is, what are your ongoing projects? Any projects that you want to talk about coming up?
Yeah, I'm actually doing some really interesting projects. I got several of them going on. Obviously, I'm continuing to work on Chronicles of Zolaria, which I write and draw and design the whole book. I'm also doing a project for Aquatis Comics. I'm doing a story for OMG4, and obviously I'll do a cover as well. And that project is going to be really cool. It's going to take place kind of post-Civil War down in New Orleans. And it's going to be kind of a voodoo-esque type story. So I think a lot of the fans will like that. And it's going to introduce a new character I came up with named Grismelda Grimm, who's like a combination between the Crypt Keeper and Elvira. So I'm going to... Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm really proud of my students. One of my students is actually going to pencil he's not only doing the pencils, he's doing the pencils and the colors for some of the interiors for that story. And he's only 18, but he's really talented. And then we have a project at the Florida Film Academy where I've come up with a basic concept and I'm building it with the students. So we're world building right now for this steampunk sci-fi post-apocalyptic world. And we're going to be telling a couple stories out of that world, and the students are going to mostly be putting that together. So,
well, it sounds like you're a busy man and you got a lot going on, but a lot of cool stuff going on.
It's a lot of fun stuff. Definitely fun.
But I know our viewers can't wait to get their hands on these cards. If anyone wants to get a hold of you to try to get a commission or anything, or just check out what you're doing, how can they do that?
I post a lot on Instagram, and that's connected to the Crimson Fable Facebook page. So if they go to Crimson Fable Studios on Instagram, they can find me there, and also Crimson Fable Studios on Facebook. If you guys are curious about any conventions I'm doing, that most of those will be on the website, or you'll hear on crimsonfablestudios.com. Or you will hear it on my Instagram or my Facebook page. I always update the conventions or appearances when I book something coming in.
Yeah, hit the man up. If you don't win a card, definitely get some commission from him. Support this man. He's a great artist and a great guy. Appreciate it, Peter.
Oh, thank you so much. And it was great talking to you.
All right, see you next time.
So we hope you enjoyed that interview with Peter Smith. Again, really good friend of ours. We hope you enjoyed the cards. I certainly do. And one of these days, I will get to go down to Florida and meet Peter in person. I'm really looking forward to that. So, Gabe, how do you win one of these cards? If we got any new viewers out there, how do you win a card?
The link in the description. You fill out the landing page. You leave your name, your mailing address, and the cards you like. We ship them to you for free.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, you got to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave comments, like stuff, but mainly just fill out that description and subscribe to the channel. Or make sure you click the link is what I meant to say there. Fill it out fully. Make sure you double check your
Like and subscribe.
Make sure you double check your address. If you don't get it right, we may not be able to send it to you. We may not be able to contact you if you don't see it. So, other than that, Gabe, are there any final thoughts on the show before we end this?
Thank you, RPGhiring.com.
Mace Windu is coming back.
Mace Windu? Whoa, the one-handed.
Mace Windu is the one that saved Grogu. Mace Windu got his hand cut off and electrocuted. So did Anakin. Think about it.
He's also been talking to one of the directors.
Mace Windu is not dead. I don't care what you say. He's not dead. He got thrown from a building. Anakin jumped out of a speeder and fell like 100 stories. Why couldn't Mace Windu do that? He's one of the strongest Jedi that there was. The dude single-handedly stopped Palpatine.
Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. Goodbye.